Welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Onyeglo. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a like, and turn on the notification bell. So today I'm going to be teaching you how I drafted this pattern that I use for shoot. You see the way it is. It's a corset and it's a Bustier corset, and it has a loop at the back and it has a peplum. So this is my basic bodice. This is what I'll be working with. This is my basic bodies, and this is my bust point. This is my bust point. Next thing I need to do is also to indicate my under bust line and the length of the blouse. So my under bust point is 15 inches, and I'm going to indicate that right now. So this is 15 inches. So I'm just going to go to the basic bodies and indicate 15 inches. To get your under bust is to put your tape rule from your shoulder to your underbust wearing the fem bra. Next thing I did is to get my blouse length, and after that I'm just going to indicate the lines, the basic lines, to help me um understand what I'm doing. Then after that I am going to label them so I know where exactly I'm working with. So that's my bust point, under bust, and my waistline. Now this is my waistline, and I'm going to be using it for styling and also for fitting. So I want it slanted. I don't want it straight as it comes. I want it slanted. And the distance is 1.5. So I want this 1.5 to be slanted. As you can see that, sorry, centimeters, so it's actually 1.5. So I want it a bit slanted because that's how the style comes. The lines are slanted. So I'm going to be doing that right about now. So I'm just going to connect from the apex, my boss apex, and I'm going to go a bit slanted from to the center front. I came up like 1 inches. This is me trying to get the perfect angle which I wanted. So I think I have. So from the hip line, I just came in 1 inches. Yeah, that's like 1 inches that you can connect. But feel free to actually try it the way you want. So after that, I'm just going to move the dart to this particular point. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to take it. So that will be 0.75, 0.75. That will give you 1.5 inches dart. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to place it precisely, and that is it. So I'm just going to connect the dart lines back to the way it was, the 4 inches below my waistline. I connect it straight so they just align. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. So I've done that. I'm just going to clean the excess, the previous that. Just going to take it off. Um, then after that, I am just going to connect it back to the apex, to my bust point. I'm just going to connect it this way. Okay, let's get it ready now. I'm just going to connect it this way. Then I am going to also did my contouring. So in this case, I'm adding my 0.75 for my side front. So I'm applying some contouring principle here. So contouring principle helps you with gaping. It's really do necessary you do that in your dresses depending on what you're going to do. So I'm going to connect it back to my waistline from my bust point down to my under bust, back to my waistline. So the beginners class, online class I'll be teaching how you can apply your contouring principle to your bodies to give you that fit so you avoid gaping. If you're interested, there's a number on the screen, send me a WhatsApp and I'll definitely send you the link to the class. And this is it. I'm just going to connect it. So I just like working with my hands. You can also work with your curve if you want. So the next thing I need to do is to create another style line. So I'm just going to divide the waistline. So in this part, so the waistline for this is it. I'm just dividing the side waistline, and then I'm just going to add my ruler to it and try to connect the style line, giving the previous line I have, how slanted it was. So I'm just going to break it into two. So this is the first one, and I'm going to check if it aligns to what I want. So sorry about those lines. I'm just going to take it off. Now I'm just going to connect it back. I'm just going to connect it back to the underarm, just slightly on the underarm, slightly, yes, into the underarm. Just play with it the way it works with you. So this is what I got. So I'm just going to make it brighter. Yes, I'm working with my pencil because I'm drafting the patterns. If I'm using a marker, I cannot erase, so that's why I'm actually working with a pencil, and I hope you can see it because it's a white paper. So for this, I'm going to be working with 0 0.7 0.25. Yeah, 0.25. That is what I used down here for my waist snatching. So that's 0.25. That is roughly half inches and 1 inches I have taken off from my waistline. So my waist is 33, and as you can see, on the front part I've already taken 1 inch. So the rest part I'm going to be taking it from the back when it's time for me to start working on the back. So I've done that. So the next thing I need to do is to get my bust radius, and my bust span is 4 inches. So bust span enables you to get your bust radius. So I'm just going to go round this way. If you have a pin, you can actually put it in the middle and just go round for you to get what you want. So I'm going to be going round. Then on the center front, I'm going to be using 3.5 inches because of the way it is. Remember, this is a bustier corset. Yes, so with a hack by the side. So that's why we are going to be leaving half inches on the center front, that pattern which I'm marking right now. So I'm going to just go ahead and connect the lines. Yes, so this is now my bust cup that I'm going to be working with right now. So I'm just going to connect it very well. Then you can use your curve, you can use your hands. What works fair for you, that's what you're going to do. So I'm just going to put in my half inches this way, and I'm going to now connect it well. So the neckline is starting from the tip. Now I need to first of all get my across chest. So across chest is 6, and this what I'm having from my pattern is 7. So I need to also apply another contouring principle to it. So that's contouring principle number 6. So I'm just going to go straight, and that is what I need. So I'm just going to get my neckline. So I'm just going to use this curve for my neck tip or my shoulder point, and I'm just going to connect. So connect it this way. I'm just going to connect it this way as a draft to give me an idea of what I want. If you can see the neckline fine. So I'm just going to reduce the measurements here. I'm going to also contour my over bust. I'm going to contour it also to give it this fitted look down there. So now what I'm going to do is to connect it this way. So I'm going to connect it with my curve ruler. Yes, I'm just going to connect it this way. Then I'm still going to blend this part to meet this curved part. Yes, let me just show you. Yeah, this way. I'm just going to connect it this way because this is the best way to go about it. You won't want a situation whereby they are too slanted and it will be very hard for you to sew. And note that the neckline on the final look, it has a scalloped. I had a skirt that I posted it on how you can draft a skirt, and I did some scallop on it. So we also want it at the top of the blouse. We want it on the neckline of the blouse. So that's what we are going to do. So the next thing, I'm going to be adding my contour principle for my shoulder, my neck. So I'm going to connect it. So this enables you to sew, and you will not be having excess on your shoulder. So this part is what is very needed. You do that, and after that I'm just going to come back to this neckline and contour it very well. That's the half inches I'm going to be using for my styling, and I'm going to connect it very well because this is actually the star of this blouse. If your bust is not giving, and it's going to be an issue, so you have to be very careful when doing this part so you don't over reveal your client's cleavage, because oftentimes when you finish snatching it, the bust goes up. So you make sure not to open it too much, because when you do, your client's cleave is going to be showing. Oftentimes they are very uncomfortable with that, unless they are those stars that just like being loud. Now for the hack, we are going to come up, we're going to come down 2 inches. I'm going to come down 2 inches. Come down 2 inches. Yes, that gives me a mark. Then from there, I'm going to now connect it. So I'm coming down below the blouse length because of the way the star is. So I'm going to mark 4 inches, and I also connect it to the center front. And you can see the hack right now. So I'm just going to connect it. And I've done my draft line, and now this is the real line I want. I'm going to now connect this way to go about it, and this is how it looks like. Let me just make it very bright. Please don't forget to like, and if you want to know how to your beginners class, don't forget to DM to get the link to the full videos on how you know it, and you're free to ask me questions after watching all the videos. And also, most importantly, don't forget to share. Somebody may want to watch this video. So I'm here back to make it very obvious. I'm just going to connect it again. Yes, I'm just going to connect it this way, and I've done that, and it's looking all sharp. So I'm going to just clean the excess that I have. So this is it right now. This is what we have. So this is my style. This is the draft part. I have not transferred my bust dart yet. I'm just going to be connecting the lines and see if I can use my marker now to make it very obvious. But before that, I have to calculate if I have my exact across chest right now. So I'm going to be calculating this part. So it's 3.5. I'm leaving that part and I'm moving there. So exactly 6.5 is what I need, because I had it ease to it. You won't want to be doing it exactly 12, so it doesn't get tight. Let me try if my marker will work right now. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not just liking it. No. I hope you can see it from the pencil. I'm drafting and I try to use my marker, but this marker is not just helping at all. It's just going to mess up everything. So this is my neckline. This is my neckline. You see how it is? It's really obvious, and this is my bust. I'm going to come back to it. Now, after that, I have to, let me just connect this part together, and that is how it's going to be now. Yes, that's how it's going to be now. See, we're almost done. So this is my style line. I slanted and I've contoured it, and this is the second style line, and this is my hack for the blouse. So now the next thing to do is to work on the back. So this is the back pattern, the back basic bodies, and this is how it is. My back pattern, and get the measurement. So first of all, I came down 1 inches, and I'm just going to take that one aside, then bring the back pattern. So after that, I'm just going to mark the 4 inches hack that I did on the front. Oh god, my camera wasn't showing at this point. Then I'm just going to connect it. I'm going to be closing the dart at the back because I want to add loop and I don't want to sew the back. So I'm going to be using my curve ruler to connect to the end of the dart, because this arc does not get to the center back. So I'm just going to connect it this way. Just going to connect it this way, and also connect, like I see, it's not really that curved, so I'm just going to curve it a bit around here. I'm just going to connect it a bit around here like this. Yep, yes, yep. Then after that, then I'm just going to use the curve ruler this way and also give it a good curve this part. Yep, so I've done that. So next thing I need to do is to just connect here. So you can actually connect it the way you want, that you're making it this loop, or you can add something else, but it's better not to allow your arc to get to the center front, because you're going to be adding your loop to it. But if you're adding zip, beautiful, you can actually go on ahead and work with what you want. Fashion is about expression, so it's oftentimes you have to just do what is okay by you, what you're comfortable with, not particularly what the style is. um because when you're working with your own kind of idea, you are comfortable with that particular clothes you're going to be wearing. So let's go back to the class, and now I have to get my loop. So I'm going to be working with 2 inches away from the I'm going to be working with 2.5 inches on the bust point, and I'm going to just connect it. So right now I'm not even using any measurement, I'm just connecting it how I want it to be, because it's the draft line I'm making right now. So I'm just going to connect it this way. And for God's sake, there's somebody there that is also a student of mine. So now I need to just close the dots. So I'm going to close this part, and before I do that, I'm just going to get the lines. Yeah. So if you want to make yours half, maybe you're not going to be having fronts, you can do it this way. You're not going to be having a back, how do I describe it? You don't want it this long. But for me, I actually want it this way. So there'll be a button at the top. So I'm just going to connect all my lines back again. My shoulder, I just want it to be aligned. Then I'm checking my cross back measurement. Mine is 15.5, and that's exactly what I have. So I'm just going to take a bit because it's showing me 3/4. That is roughly 15.5, and I want it to be 15 because I want it really firm at my back. I don't want any form of gaping, and that's why I'm doing this. So if it's going to be a part that you want it, but because I'm going to be adding loop, I don't want any gaping. So next thing I need to do is to also do my contouring principle by taking 1/4 from the neck line. I don't want any form of gaping of any such, so I'm just going to connect it this way. This enables you not to have any excess on your neckline. If you're a beginner or if you've been sewing, you'll be able to experience this at one point in time. So you just take it off. So the next thing I need to do is to get my neckline. So I just want it a bit down because I'm going to be adding buttons to it. So let me just get this line straightened up. Yep. So you see the way I'm doing it here? Yes. So the rest is not needed. Now I'm just going to take it off, and I've done that. So the neckline, I just want it a bit down, and I'm just going to connect it this way. Let me just sit down. I'm just going to connect it this way. Yep. So after doing that, I'm going to now measure what I need for my loop. So I'm just going to use my curve ruler to get this, because this is actually what I just do every day. My curve ruler just make it easy for me. So oftentimes my students ask me, "Auntie, what's the measurements?" If you're watching this is what you should just do. But feel free to always measure and have it offhand. But my curve ruler just helped me give me this curve. It's very smooth and it's easy for me to sew and cut. So this is the back. It's easy for me to do. So remember that I have taken roughly 1.5 inches from my waistline. So that's making me snatch my waist the more. So I'm just going to be adding some excess here because of my button extension that I'll be adding to it. Yes, I'm adding a button extension to it, and that is it. So this part is what we need, and that is for my button extension. If you're not putting button, if you're putting hook, you might not need to do this, but I am adding my button extension, and that's why I'm doing that sign, so you know it's button extension. And this is the back, and it's already ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, but before doing that, I will still need to close my darts. So I'm just going to take my masking tape and close my darts and show you how it is. And this is now my front, this is my back. And if you want more style line, you can create more style lines at the back too, but I don't need any style line at the back. I am not really a fan of the style line at the back. So you just probably create another line if you want, but I don't want. But if you want to do it, you just apply the same principle, the same method I taught you on the front pattern. You just create another line, can see this is example how it looks like, and just roll it this way. That gives you an edge of how the second style line at the back will be if you need it to be this way. So now we've done with that, I'm going to close the dart now. Cross check my waistline. So I'm going to be starting from the front to the back to be sure that the waistline is okay. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm checking it all over again. Like I told you, I don't want it to be too snatch, but I want it snatch. So in this case, I'm checking it, and if it's okay for me, I might not close the dart, and if it's not okay for me, I might close the dart. So I'm going ahead to check it, and I found that it's giving me 14.5, and my waistline is 33, so 14.5 is around 29. So it's really snatch, really snatch. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to be closing this part anymore. Means I have actually moved that to the other part. If I close it, it will be too snatched. That's what's happened when a client wears a cloth and it's like, oh God, it's too snatched, it's too snatched. No, you have to aim your comfort in as much as you want to be stylish about your dress or your blouse, whatever you're wearing. So I'm not going to be closing the dart because it's perfectly okay for me. Now I'm just going to cut off this arc that I have created. I'm just going to make it very obvious so you can see clearly. I'm just going to cut it off and then go back to what I am doing. So this part is now the loop. So you could, this back, you're going to add eyelet to it. If you're not going to be adding eyelet to it, probably just make your own loop lacing, and they also sell it in the market too. So I'm just going to cut through. Oh no, that's not what I want. Okay, let me just go back and I'll just close it back. I don't want, so I'm going to be closing it back because I don't want to slash through. You can actually slash through if you want that, maybe you want to join your lace fabric to it, but no, in this case I'm working with a brocade fabric, so I will not be needing that effect on it. But if you're working with the lace fabric, feel free to do that. So I'm gonna ahead to just fold it a bit so I can cut all the parts. So now I'm just going to cut the arc part so I can attach it to the front so they become one. Now this is how my front is going to, this is how my back is going to be. So I'm just going to add half inches allowance, seam allowance on this part because that's what I'll need. So I'll just add half inches also for the armhole. That's what I'm going to use to attach my sleeve. Now this is how it's going to be. This is my back pattern. Now this part, I'm just going to take it off this way. So I'm just going to cut the back arc this way and label it back, and I'm going to come to the front. Now this is the front, this is the up. I have to start labeling them. It's easy to cut that way. Now the next thing I need to do is to after labeling them, I have to also do the same thing for the cup and also make this our cup. Is actually on 2D, so I want to make it on 3D right now. So this is it. I finally got my marker to work, and this is how it is. So now I need to close my bust dart. So I'm going to be closing my bust dart. I've already slashed through my across through my chest line because I transferred the dart to the shoulder. So I've transferred the dart to the shoulder, and that's why there is a opening for me to be able to do that. So next thing I need to do is to ask my maxing tape all over, then reconnect the lines for me to have a very good coherence in terms of me sewing it together. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take my ruler and connect the lines back. So this marker is going to make it very obvious for you to see, and that is the line I'm going to be working with. And I'm also going to do that for my bust line. I want it connected back, and that's it. Please don't fail to do it. So now this pattern is on 2D, so I want it to be on 3D. But before doing that, I have to first of all cut the hack out from the waistline. So I'm going to do that are like this. I'm just going to cut this and set it aside. I'm going to cut it and set it aside. So I've gone ahead to cut the whole part, and this part now I'm going to be applying some taking off my masking tape, because I want to slash through the bust and that line that I previously had before closing it. So I'm just going to close it this way. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm just taking it this way. Then after that, I am going to come back here and do the same thing for this side. So this is the initial bust line that was there. I'm just going to take it this way, and I'm going to also trim off the dart that I did on the across chest. I'm going to take it together, then I'm going to close it together. So when you hear a bust on a 3D, this is what they actually mean. So you find a way to connect it together so they become one piece, and that's what I'm going to be doing this way. I'm just going to connect it this way to make sure that they become one piece, and that's what I'm doing right here. So I'm just going to take the same masking tape and add it together to it, and I'm still going to still curve this particular one together, and this excess that is here, I'm going to blend it off to the image. So this excess I'm having here, which is like ½ inches, I'm going to be taking it off from the side. I'm going to be taking it off from the side so I can close it and they will actually align. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm going to be taking it off. So I'll close it this way. I'm going to close it this way, as you can see. I'm going to try the way to close it together, and I'll use my masking tape to hold it. I'm going to use my masking tape to hold it, and I've secured them together and they've become one piece. Now this center front, I'm going to be adding my bust on the contouring principle to it, and I'm going to also trim off the excess I have there. So I took in 0.25, that is 1/4. I'm also going to apply that to the other side. So I'm going to trim off the excess so they align very well, and that is the first one. Then the second one, I'm also going to do the same thing, but first of all I need to open it to give it the exact part I need. Now I'm going to also do the same thing for this other part. Please don't forget to label them and also indicate where is up and where is down. This will enable you to be able to sew very well. You see the line that is coming out from it. Now I'm still going to, so this is how the bust is going to be, and the next thing I need to do is to start making sure that I able to label them very well. They're not going to sit aside. So now I'm going to go straight into the hack, and I'm having this my pattern here. So I'm going to be working with the splash and spread method, and I'm going to be doing it this way. So I'm adding it, I'm going to splash it. Now I'm splashing it because I want it to have some lines. So I'm just going to be doing some draft line just to get what I want. So I'm going to do it this way to get lines. Feel free to actually work with what you want, but I'm just going to be creating lines. These lines are for me to just slash through and spread. So I'm spreading it because I want some fullness there. That is why I'm going to be spreading it. That is why there is hack on it, and at the end of the day when I'm sewing it, I'm going to add some strong interface so they just stay up the way I want it to be. So you do this on the paper. So I found out that this paper is too small for it, so I'm going to shift it a bit and see if I can work with it. I don't want to really waste so much paper on this. So this is it. I'm just spreading it this way. You see the way, feel free to spread it as full as you want. So I'm working with my water gum. I still prefer water gum when it comes to flash and spread. So I'm spreading it and I'm checking the distance I'm using. So I'm going to be working with 2 inches. Please work with what you preferred to work with. I'm working with 2 inches for my splash and spread because I want it really splashed. So 2 inches, and at the point I really didn't just bother again checking the measurement. I just wanted to just align together and gum it back so they become one paper together. So I'm going to do the same thing for the back. I'm going to splash, and I'm going to be starting from exact point which by they'll be joining together. Are you seeing what I'm connecting together? Are you seeing it the way I'm doing it? So that's what you are going to do to your splash and spread. And this applies to any, you can add your splash and spread to your that manipulation. You can add it to your full, anything you need fullness. Splash and spread is still the best bit for you. So I'm just going to keep splashing it. And if you have watched up to now, thank you so much for having the patience. And I hope you learned something, and I hope you'll be trying it. Remember to try, remember to practice, and practice. That what makes you better. Even if you go for the best upgrade class, you just need to still practice. And don't forget to buy my beginners class, online class course. I really appreciate that's the way you could support me and encourage me to continue to upload videos. And this is how it's going to be. So next thing I need to do, I need to add paper to that part. I'm just going to connect it this way. See the part, I'm just going to connect it this way. I'm just going to take my time and connect the line. So this is now the arc I'm going to be using. And if you want it restructured, you can add bone into it, or you can add collar stay to it. But I added collar stay, and I'm going to show you the final result of it. My anniversary is coming up on the 31st of May 2025. I'm excited. 10 years in business. I will be uploading some things I wish I knew before now, that I'm learning it now. But I really love to share my experience, and I hope you get to watch that video. So if you subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell, you'll be able to get the video firsthand, and also learn from my mistakes, and also learn some things that you can apply to your business and make your business grow. We don't need to be 10 years in mistakes before you learn something new. So this is me just trying to connect all the lines together with the marker, so you get to understand how it is. So if you've tried to draft this pattern, definitely sewing is not going to be an issue. I lost the video for sewing, so but I have some clips that I did upload, so feel free to just check that. And that's it. So this is it, the front and the back. I have done the front and the back, and I'm just going to cut it off and show you how it looks like. So this is it on the pinnable mannequin, and this is the final look. Do you see the look? Did you see it? This is me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll be trying this, and I'm going to be uploading how I make this Philippine sleeve on the channel very soon. Thank you, and ciao. Bye, and thank you once again.